3 signs you both want each other. You both feel it. There are moments in life when the world narrows. 2 people, a shared silence. A pulse that seems to belong to both of them. It's not loud. It doesn't announce itself with fireworks or dramatic confessions. Instead, it arrives like light through blinds. Slow, obvious once you notice, and somehow sacred. This is not about obsession or fantasy. This is the quiet recognition, the double occupancy of a feeling that lives in the chest of both hearts at the same time. Today, I want to take you through 3 signs that tell you, without needing a single explicit sentence, that you both want each other. These are the subtle textures of mutual wanting, the small things that are impossible to fake for long. Listen with your bones. These signs are felt more than they're analyzed. Subscribe now to Psych Secrets and be part of a journey where every video inspires you to see life with a new perspective. Sign 1. The invisible conversation. Eye contact, timing, and the space between words. You're standing across the room. A song you both love begins to play, or you reach for the same cup. Your eyes meet. It's not just a glance. It's a shape of attention. When 2 people want each other, their eyes begin to communicate like an invisible language. The look that lingers a heartbeat too long. The quick dart away, then the slow return. The way your pupils, for a fraction of a second, tell stories of tenderness and calculation both. Imagine this scene. Late evening, 2 chairs by a window, cities asleep beyond the glass. The lamp between you makes a pool of gold. You tell a small story about your day, nothing heavy, and you notice them leaning in at the precise moment the story becomes tender. That is timing, not coincidence. It's an unconscious choreography. When wanting is mutual, timing aligns. They laugh where you laugh. They fall silent where you do. It's like the body knows the other person's next sentence before the brain does. There's another layer, the return look. You do something tiny, you brush your hair, you nervously touch a ring, you shift your weight, and their eyes follow in a way that's not about curiosity. It's an internal radar, noticing, then storing. If you move and they notice with a warmth that feels like ownership, not possession but recognition, that's a sign. Recognition is the soft cousin of desire, and when it's returned, you're in the same tide. Psychologically, sustained eye contact and this unconscious timing release oxytocin, the bonding chemical in both bodies. It's why a simple look can feel like a promise, even if neither of you speaks. Pay attention to where your attention goes. If your default glance in a crowded room finds them, and theirs finds you, you're following the same compass. Practical note for the listener: test this gently. Sit across each other. Speak 1 sentence, pause and watch. Does the other person naturally lean into that pause as if finishing your thought? If yes, that is the invisible conversation happening. Sign 2, the currency of vulnerability. How you give and receive small truths. Wanting someone isn't just heat. It's the willingness to be seen in imperfect light. The second sign is not grand gestures. It's small silences that become confessions. It's the safe storage of little things you once thought embarrassing. A childhood nickname, a fear of silence, the way you unmake your face when you cry. When wanting is mutual, vulnerability moves in both directions like a slow river, not a one-way street. Picture them sending a message at 2 a.m., not to flirt, not to demand, but to tell you a dream they had. Or you tell them about your grandmother's habit of humming when she cooked, and they respond with the exact same kind of story about their own childhood. This mirrored vulnerability is a secret handshake. It means both of you are practicing the same language. I trust you with the small broken things. There's something profoundly psychological here. We show our soft underbelly only when we suspect the other will treat it gently. If you find yourself sharing pieces of yourself that you usually guard, and they reciprocate with their own guarded pieces, that reciprocal openness is not random. It's an unconscious test that both of you pass. It's a mutual giving away and receiving back of fragile parts, and that exchange is a sign of deep wanting. Let me tell you a small story. Two people meet at a bookstore. They share a section of poetry. One admits quietly that they read poems when they're afraid. The other, without drama, says the same. They exchange lines, then confessions about nights spent awake. Later, when the rain makes the pavement shine, they both remember the same poem and pass it between them like bread. That bread, small, sustaining, shared, is vulnerability turned edible. There is also an emotional reciprocity in how you respond to each other's pain. When one is tired, the other anticipates without being asked. When one is proud, the other celebrates without keeping score. Mutual wanting doesn't keep tally. It mirrors the internal weather. If you find that your emotional climates are attended to with the same frequency and depth, you both want one another. A practical cue. Notice how fast and how thoughtfully you both respond in moments of emotional need. Are apologies humble? Are confessions met with curiosity rather than judgment? If so, you share a vulnerability economy, and that economy runs on mutual desire. Sign 3, the quiet architecture of the future, plans, priorities, and shared small spaces. This is the one that often surprises people because it arrives disguised as practicality. When two people want each other, their futures begin to overlap, not only in big declarations but in small choices. You'll notice it in the way they schedule time, in the casual use of we, in the future tense that sneaks into ordinary sentences. Here's how it looks. They book tickets and ask if you'd like to come. They recommend a show and say, "We should go." They check a calendar and pick dates that fit both lives. It's not always romantic or heavy. Sometimes it's the mundane. A shared couch on a Sunday, a mutual vendor for groceries, a plant they suggest you both care for. These small shared investments are architecture. They are the scaffolding of togetherness. But the deeper sign is how priorities shift. When someone is interested, they rearrange. Not dramatically or insistently, but gently. Maybe your friend's call is put on hold for a moment when they know you need space. Maybe they choose a morning that aligns with your schedule without needing a message about why. If your needs begin to be factored into decisions naturally, that's devotion wearing the clothes of habit. There's a psychological reason this matters. Wanting someone activates model building in the brain. You start simulating future moments where this person is present. If both of your mental simulations have the same supporting actor, then you are co-authoring a future. That co-authorship is a powerful sign, because very few things change behavior consistently unless they are emotionally motivated. A small scene to imagine: you both run late for work. The other person texts a short, calm, safe, and adds, "Coffee later?" You agree. Later, when the coffee arrives, it's the precise way you like it. The care in those details, timing, precision, remembering, tells you that they're not just imagining you. They're making room for you in their day-to-day reality. Another indicator is alignment in tough choices. It doesn't mean you always agree, that's unrealistic, but it does mean that when a sacrifice or compromise is required, both of you are comfortable making it spontaneously. That willingness to rearrange, to adjust, to plan around each other's lives is a practical sign that emotional wanting has translated into lived reality. How to tell the difference between mutual wanting and wishful thinking. It's easy to confuse projection, sending out wishes and pretending they came back, with true mutuality. Projection feels like heat from your own side only. Mutual wanting shows up in behaviors that are external and consistent. Ask yourself, can the other person be counted on when they're tired or when they have something better to do? Are their gestures consistent, or are they intense and intermittent? Do they remember small things about your life without being reminded? If the answers lean toward consistent presence, you're not imagining things. Also, check for balance. Mutual wanting is rarely perfectly symmetrical, but it is reciprocal. One night you might give more, another night they will. If the exchange balances over time, that momentum is mutual. And finally, the simplest litmus test. When you look at them, do they look back with the same kind of tenderness? Not every look is bearable proof, but patterns are. 1,000 small acknowledgments are louder than one dramatic confession. What to do if you recognize these signs? If these signs are present, you are standing on fertile ground. You can choose to let things grow naturally, to cultivate patience, curiosity, and kindness. Or you can decide to speak. Speaking doesn't have to mean an elaborate speech. It can be a single honest sentence. I like being with you. Or, I think we might be wanting the same thing. Say it gently. Give them a chance to place a word beside yours. If you are the one who feels fragile, small steps work best. Share a quiet fear. Invite them to a future that's low stakes. Coffee on a Sunday, a walk, a playlist exchange. If they accept, watch how naturally reciprocation returns. If they hesitate but stay present, that's not rejection, that's caution, and it can be soothed by continued consistency. And if you're unsure whether it's mutual, try a simple experiment. Make a small request that requires presence. Ask them to meet for 20 minutes on a day you need company. See whether showing up is easy for them. Mutual wanting shows up in the willingness to be present when presence costs them something. Closing. A small blessing for the heart's listening. There is a sacredness in shared longing. It is a quiet miracle. Two separate souls, gradually in tune, making each other visible. Wanting someone with reciprocity is not a guarantee of forever, but it is a rare and beautiful invitation to learn each other's weather, to remember the small things, to make an ordinary life feel like a chosen ritual. If you are living these signs now, breathe. Slow down the story of future fear. Celebrate the small mailings of care. If you don't yet see these signs, be patient with yourself. Love that lasts often begins as a series of tiny, faithful acts. Before we go, a simple suggestion for you, the listener. Tonight, when the house is quiet, think of one small thing you want to know about the person you care for. Ask it. Let your voice carry that curiosity. If they answer with warmth, if their eyes hold the question back, if their plans start to include you, then you have found something rare, mutual wanting that feels like home. If you like this, if the words touched a place inside, hit like, subscribe, and share. Not to chase validation, but to keep bringing more of these quiet stories to the world. Leave a comment. Which of the 3 signs resonated with you most? I love reading your stories. Until next time, keep your eyes open for the small glances, your heart open for the small confessions, and your life open for the small plans. The rest will follow, one honest moment at a time.